Hi guys, this is T-Mass from 2A Syndicate, and this is my 500 round update of my Steiner MPS that I run on my Prodigy DS. So the first thing I'm going to do is show clear. So let's talk about the Steiner that I ran on my Prodigy. The first thing that I get asked if I had to get another optics plate to run the Steiner on my Prodigy, and it actually comes with a Dr. plate set. And the Dr. plate actually comes with the Prodigy. That's what runs the Hex, that's what runs the Vortex, and it also will run the plate that actually comes with the Steiner. So out of the box, you can actually mount the Steiner without getting an optics plate for the Prodigy on the Prodigy that it originally comes with. And because it comes with that, it makes it a little bit easier for setup. Excuse the noise. We got the traffic going outside. But with this running anyway with the Steiner MPS, my thoughts on it. It's actually been running great. I actually like the optic. One of my biggest issues that I do have with the optic, let's start with that. Let's get the negatives out the way first. One of the biggest issues that I do have with it is that it's big. This is my first enclosed emitter to any optic that I have. And with me having an enclosed emitter to this optic, it's my first time actually experiencing that. And with experiencing that, what it is that it's just really big and bulky. And I'm just not used to big and bulky optics. I'm used to an optic that like something that I would run on my PDP. Right now I have the Viridian green dot on my PDP. As you can see, and I'm gonna try not to flash myself here with that, it gives you a lot more open room. It's not such a big box that's on top of it. Kind of like the Steiner. You just have to get used to it. I do like the deal with the closed emitter, because if you are running any kind of classes or training outside and it starts to rain, it's not something that's going to bother or affect your optic. That's the one thing I do like about it. It does fit in my holsters. I do carry the tier 1 concealed. The tier 1 concealed that I carry with that, I'm going to go ahead and put it in there for you, and you can see it does work pretty well with it. It doesn't really butt up against anything. This is in the way a little bit, so I'll go ahead and turn it forward and turn it around. It doesn't really run into anything. If I decide to carry this optic, it goes in and out pretty freely. Comes out of there pretty freely as well. It actually doesn't get stopped by anything. So it fits everywhere that I need it to fit. My biggest issue, like I said, with it is it's just so bulky. And running this big bulky thing on my gun, it takes some getting used to, because I'm used to open emitters when I'm running optics. And that's going to be just, I think it's going to be user error on that part, and what I want to get used to, or what I'm deciding to get used to. But as far as that as well, my only other issue with the Steiner MPS is that it does not come shake awake. Every optic that I do buy them shake awake, so you don't have to deal with anything. It's just something that if you're carrying it, you just have to leave that thing running all the time, whether it's on you or not, or you're using it. It's something that you have to make sure that you keep running the whole time. But I mean, the battery life on the Steiner is actually a really decent battery life. I do keep extra batteries just in case it goes down. And the other thing is that the window is big enough that you can co-witness it to your actual sights. So you co-witnesses to your sights. It runs actually a backup. If it goes down, you still can actually see your sights with this optic on. And that's one of the main things that I pay attention to when I buy optics, is that I can actually see my sights. If the optic is too big and you can't see your sights, I will then choose a different optic. It's something that everyone should be aware of when they buy an optic. If it's a co-witnessing optic and it can co-witness with your sights, it's a very important thing, because if your optic does go down as far as batteries are breaking, if you drop it or something like that and it doesn't work, you should still be able to see your regular sights. Okay, so that's it with all the negative, points that I have with the Steiner. That's all I have for it. Other than that, it's a great optic. It doesn't, I felt like at first it was going to be a little bit heavy and it was going to affect the slide, but it does not affect the slide in any way. It actually runs pretty well. I love the way it shoots. I like being able to see visually through the optic. The other good thing is that the way it's designed, it is designed to take a beating. Your window in the back is, pretty much right up against the way that the optic is built. But if you notice along these sides, it actually has this plate that protrudes out, so it keeps it from taking the grunt force if you did drop it. If you look at the front part of it, you'll see this little slit here in the window, and with that slit being in the window, it's kind of cut backwards, so it doesn't it's not assessed to the front of it, so it can't be hit very easy and it can't be broken or cracked. It's actually set away from the frame, so the frame takes the brunt of the force if it's ever dropped or anything like that. I've used this optic to rack on wood, and when I use this optic to rack on wood or on clothes, it's a really easy optic to rack on any parts of your clothes or anything like that, just in case you have any type of injury to your hand to where you can't rack that slide. It's really easily racked. Other than that, it gets very bright. It was really easy as well to zero when I started to zero it in the target. And the best thing about it is the battery sits right on the top there. So with the battery sitting right on the top, it's really easy to unscrew it, take the battery out, and replace it with another battery without having to take this optic out and re-zero it or anything else. You want your optic to be as simple as possible anytime that you're putting it on your firearm. If it's something that you have to take off and you have to remove, you know that at that point you're going to have to re-zero your firearm, whatever you put that optic on. I actually love this optic. It is a great optic. Like I said, it's just me taking some time to get used to it, how big and bulky it is. Other than that, it has been a great optic. It has not failed. It hasn't lost zero. I have dropped it a few times, and you can't even tell that I've even dropped this thing. And this gun is not a polymer gun. This gun is a very heavy gun. It's one of my heaviest guns, obviously, because it's a 1911. And, with the steel slide and the frame, it holds a lot of weight to it. And this optic is actually perfect for this gun or any gun like this you might have. So as far as the optic is concerned, it's built like a tank. It runs very well, shows you a great picture. And like I said, user error for anything that I might have that I don't like about the optic. Those are really small takeaways from the optic. That's pretty much it. It runs great. Love the optic. If you have a chance to get a closed emitter, this would be one of the ones I'd recommend. Can't wait to maybe they do some upgrades and get it to be a shake awake, but I haven't had any problems with it. If I decide to carry it, I turn it on for the day and I have it with me all day. Haven't run any problems with that. And again, if I needed to change out the battery, I have the top to go ahead and do that with. So with that being said, guys, it's a great optic. Give yourself a chance if you have that in your budget to run the Steiner MPS. It is a must-have for an optic. I believe it's a great optic to use and shoot with. And with that being said, guys, as always, train hard, train often. Thanks for watching.